The brand new map Citadelle Des Morts has dropped in Black Ops 6 Zombies, and with it come 4 elemental sword wonder weapons. And in today's video, I'm going to show you how to get each of them and what their special abilities are. So make sure to drop a like on this video if you learned something new, and let's get into it. So to get started, you need to open up the map, turn on the Pack-a-Punch, and get to round 10, which if you don't know how to do, I'll make other guide videos on Citadelle Des Morts very soon on the channel. On round 10, you're going to get special zombies that start to spawn with night helmets on, and when you kill these zombies, they're going to drop a gold item, which is a stamp. When you pick up a stamp, you're able to go to any one of the 4 knight statues in this courtyard and interact with them to get the basic sword. I'm going to start off with the fire sword, so I'm going to interact with this statue right here. And as you can see, we can grab our basic sword, which has the slash and the parry ability. So to get started with the fire sword upgrade, we're going to come back into the room with Juggernog and go up the stairs to this dragon statue where we can insert our sword. You can see that 3 lights come on the sigil above the dragon, and that is because we need to go to 3 different locations to light ourselves on fire and bring this fire back to the dragon statue. Our first fire location is right outside in this courtyard area to the left of the cannon you use to break down the wall. Right here is fire number 1. You're going to hold interact and then immediately turn around and run back to the sword. You get a super speed boost when you're on fire, but it does damage you over time. And now we just hold interact back here at the sword, and that is the first bonfire completed. Doing this step also seems to spawn in more zombies, so just keep that in mind. So next, coming out of the keep, we're going to go down the right side and open this door and work our way back towards the spawn room past this Deadshot Daiquiri perk machine. Here we have our second fire. We'll go ahead and hold interact and begin our sprint back to the sword. Now this is the second longest sprint back, and you got to be careful because if the zombies start to hit you, there's no way to regenerate your health while doing this. You can relinquish the fire if you think you're going to go down, but you can see we still had pretty much enough time there. No real worries to get back. Also, as soon as you interact with the sword, your HP goes all the way back up to full. And then from the keep for our last fire, we're going to go back down the way that we came up through the map on this run and go all the way back to spawn. Here, just across from this statue, we have our third and final fire, and we're going to go ahead and interact and start running, being careful to dodge the zombies. And this is the longest run back that we have. So cut your corners tight. Try not to get hit. It's going to be really close. Keep your eye on my health bar, but we should have just enough time. And with that, the first of 4 swords is upgraded. Let me show you guys what this thing does. So here we have Caliburn, the Blade of Fire, which has the same moves as the basic sword, where I can parry and I can slash, but I can also, by pressing my left and right click together, throw fireballs, which is so incredible. I love this sword so much. Now the fireballs will damage you, so just keep that in mind and be careful. So I'm going to progress to the next round to get our next stamp. Be on the lookout for a zombie with the helmet on so that we can do the next sword. I should also mention that these swords do stack with the melee macchiato perk, and they replace your dedicated melee slot instead of one of your 2 primary weapon slots. And every time that you use that special ability, you will have to kill regular zombies to charge it back up. All right, so we got another night zombie there, and he's going to drop a stamp. You can only carry 1 stamp at a time, but with that, we are going to go ahead and go back towards the courtyard. And the next sword that we're going to work on is the light sword. So go ahead and put your fire sword back. If you drop this on the map, it will respawn here and interact with this knight statue here with the lion on its chest. Doing so is going to spawn in some special parasites that are glowing, as you can see on the screen. And we're going to leave the keep here and head towards Speed Cola. So now we're over here by Speed Cola, and all you have to do is melee kill one of these glowing bugs, and you'll see our sword is now glowing. You're going to come to this door and melee it, and you'll see a symbol appear. Now we're just going to repeat that process until we have 4 symbols on the door. So I'm going to look for a glowing bug. Hopefully we still have some. There they are. We're gonna melee one. Our sword's gonna glow. I'm gonna use my ether shroud here because once you kill the bug, you are on a slight timer to get back and melee the door. And if you take too long, your sword will stop glowing and you'll have to progress through the rounds. So there's my third bug. Gonna run on over here, melee the door one more time. All right, and then we just need to get this last bug without going down. Okay, sword's glowing. And perfect. And once you do your 4th symbol, go ahead and hold interact on the door, and you're going to be teleported into this underground catacomb. And at the very end of the hallway here, we've got a pedestal to interact with. Go ahead and put your sword inside. And now you need to look at the pedestal to see which symbol we are going to shoot. There's a specific order. So we had the circle with a dot. Now we have the snowflake. So go ahead and find the snowflake and shoot it next. Then we have the triangle. Gonna shoot that one. And last but not least, we've got the circle with a line through it. And as long as you do it in the right order, this is super easy. If you fail, you can try again, but you are on a time limit while you are down here. So go ahead and grab our light sword. And this sword is probably my favorite sword of the bunch. Once again, it has its normal slash abilities and its parry, but if you get overwhelmed and activate your special ability, you get an energy field around you that absolutely dismantles all zombies in the area. Not to mention, it just has a really cool inspect animation. But that is 2 swords down with 2 to go. Now we are on a bug round, but I do know that you can get these special zombies with the helmets on during bug rounds, so I'm gonna keep an eye out. Also, let me quickly demonstrate the parry there. If you do the parry at the right time, you'll block incoming damage, but you can actually send projectiles back and kill zombies with it, which is super cool. All right, there's our special zombie. Go ahead and take him down and grab our 3rd stamp. And now we're going to go ahead and work on the lightning sword. So we'll put our light sword back, and then we're going to interact with this knight statue here with the deer head on its armor. In order to upgrade this sword, we need to find 3 lightning rods around the map, and to get our first lightning rod, we'll need a weapon with dead wire equipped. After equipping dead wire to your primary weapon, come on over here by Speed Cola. There's going to be an electrical panel on the wall right here that once we shoot is going to drop our first lightning rod. Next, work your way all the way across the map. We need to get to the Deadshot Daiquiri perk machine, where you can actually see the 2nd lightning rod just laying on the ground right here to the left of the machine. So hold interact and we've got our 2nd rod. And for the 3rd and final rod, we actually will need to kill an armored zombie inside of the room where quick revive is. So I'm going to progress the round here so we can spawn in some normal zombies. So I'm going to progress the round here so that we can get some normal zombies to spawn in and progress to the room where quick revive is located. Oh, and we've got a doppelgast, which we made pretty quick work of. All right, so now we're in the room with quick revive and we just need to kill some armored zombies until we get the lightning rod to drop. You can do this with a regular gun. You don't have to do this with your sword out. All right, there it is right there. That armored zombie got sliced in half. And now we've got our 3rd and final lightning rod. And here is another special zombie, which we'll go ahead and kill to grab our 4th and final stamp. Now that we're at the end of the round, we're going to exit the keep and head to the right side of the catwalk next to the cannon and bring all 3 of our lightning rods to this electric coil here. And when you interact with the coil, you'll slide the rods in place, which will summon a storm into the map and start a lockdown with some zombies. So all you need to do for this is train around in a circle and stay alive. And eventually this storm is going to strike our sword with lightning. And when that happens, we're going to need to melee the coil. So just keep running in a circle, training the zombies. You'll see it happen. But eventually our sword here should get struck by lightning. Okay, there it is. And now we're just going to melee the coil. And you can see one of our rods is illuminated. So we need to do that 2 more times. That's why I suggest doing this at the end of the round when it's a little bit easier to train the zombies. And as long as you stay somewhere in this storm, you will get struck by lightning eventually. There we go. That's our 2nd time right there. Once your sword is struck for a 3rd time, you're going to do the same thing and run up to this coil and melee it. And now you can interact with your sword out to go ahead and imbue it with lightning. And there you have it. The lightning sword once again has the usual slash and parry, but it has one of the coolest abilities of any of the swords, which I'll showcase right now for you guys. Check this out. We get to just cast forth a beam of lightning that penetrates through zombies. It is so epic. Let's try it out on a doppelgast here. Oh my gosh, it just makes such quick work of the big enemies. Okay, so now that we're at the end of the round, we're going to build our 4th and final elemental sword. And it's probably the most misunderstood sword that I've seen so far, and that's the Void Sword. So with our last stamp, we're going to interact with this knight to get the basic sword here. And we're going to go into this room to the left of this courtyard here. And somewhere on one of these bookcases, there's going to be like a skull or a fossil. I think a fossil is the best way really to describe it. But you're just going to look around on the bookcases until you find it, and I'll show you what it looks like here. All right, this is the one that we have right now. It's basically like a trophy with a fossil or a skull on top of it. That will be random each game and in a random spot, but it'll always be inside of that room. The official name for the item is an antiquity. And so now with your antiquity and your basic sword in hands, we're going to run all the way back to the spawn area. So just below this bar in the spawn area, there's going to be an upgrade station to the right on the wall here that we can now interact with. placing our item, and we can also insert our sword. And this step gets a bit confusing, but luckily for you guys, I've got a cheat sheet. So go ahead and interact with the dial, and I'm going to show this cheat sheet on screen, but don't be intimidated by all these symbols. I promise you guys it's not that bad. So every game, the fossil that you have is going to change, and these will represent different animals. Now what you need to do is match your animal to its corresponding astrology sign. So in this case, this bird represents Gemini, and if you look at the chart, you'll see that Gemini corresponds with air. So we need to take our matching symbols and rotate them to the down position on the wheel. In this case, we have the triangle with the line through it. So when you submit this correctly, you're going to start a sort of mini game where you have to escort some orbs over these void portals that spawn on the ground. They will follow you really slowly, and you just need to lead them to where they get close enough that they'll go inside the portal. Doing this on a fresh round is a little difficult, so I would recommend you do this towards the end of a round. After you get 3, the portal is going to move to a different location in the bar. So now we have this location that we need to escort the 3 orbs into. And they actually deal damage to you as well. So be careful with all the zombies running around and running into the orbs. It can be pretty dangerous. All right, so that's number 1. There goes number 2. And there's number 3. So now you'll see our void portal is going to go on the move one more time. We'll just follow this wisp to its new location, and then escort 3 more orbs. All right, this should make it in. Perfect. So after you've done all 3 of the void portals, this wisp is going to go back to the original upgrade station. This is probably the trickiest of the swords, and while I still don't fully understand all of the astrology step, I've been able to do it every time by using that cheat sheet. So hopefully it makes sense, but if you're still struggling with it, let me know in the comments down below. So now we can interact with our sword, and it's going to do this super awesome animation where it gets sucked into the abyss. And now it comes back and we have the void sword, and this is probably my personal favorite. Not only does it look amazing, but its ability is really good too. Once again, we can still slice and dice like normal and parry, but when we use our special ability, we create a rip in space that acts like a little Casimir device and sucks all the zombies in. It doesn't seem to work on the amalgam, so just keep that in mind. So guys, let me know in the comments down below which of these swords is your personal favorite and what your overall first impressions of Citadelle Des Morts are. I'm really excited to uncover more secrets, and I've yet to complete the Easter egg as of the time I'm recording this video, but it will happen soon, and I'll have more helpful tips and tricks on how to complete the boss fight and the Easter egg coming to the channel very soon. But for now, I'll see you guys in the next video.